Fabulous day out there. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous morning here in Spain. It's already, I think, about 24, 25 degrees, and summer is here. Well, West Spain is concerned. And hope it's summer in your heart, even if it's raining out there, wherever you are. But hopefully we've got something going on there, which would be absolutely fabulous. Okay, guys, we're going to do a little bit of this, and then we're going to see you in just a moment. There weren't supposed to come on where I'm in the middle of the screen. I suddenly looked at it and thought, I'm still there. Hilarious. Anyway, so at least you can have a little bop in the morning. I do enjoy that tune. It's a funny little witty one. Anyway, okay, so here we are. We're in May. We got extraordinary month coming up. And I think we need to have some astrology banter, don't you think? I think we need some guidance where the stars are sending us or sending the messages this month, and how best to use them. We got planets changing sign. We've got unusual new moons. We've got everything going on. But who better than to discuss this with is the wonderful, wonderful Guiomar's coming up in just a second. We've got Katrina says, good morning, Phil and Deborah. Good morning, Katrina. Yeah, that's interesting. You've sort of gone dark. That's it. Okay. This is the great technology of the day. So I'm going to keep that about there. Maybe up there, you can see what's going on. Yeah, great way to start our day with your show and have a wee bop. Yes, you've got to have a wee bop. I didn't know I was going to do that. I learned the new things by this technology every day. Susanna says, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And also Katrina says, good morning, Lady G. Yes, she's just in. She's just out there somewhere. I can see her in the distance running towards us. I know she's going to be here very, very soon. In fact, yeah, she's a very remarkable lady indeed, is our Guiomar. So some say that she was born under the stars, whilst others say that she comes from America. Other people say she was a native somewhere. Other people say she's in Javier in Spain, and I say here she's just here. She's just here. In fact, I think there goes the doorbell. Okay, let's bring on the Guiomar. Yo, good morning. Good morning. Oh, we've frozen.
Can you see me okay?
Yeah, yes, I can see you. And see it loud clear. And also, I love your scenery around you. That's a different place to sit.
Yeah, I'm at the center today. I'm at my office.
Ah, very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. For some reason, my highlighting thing here has gone dark. It's gone into a dark colour. So just finding, there you go. I'll put that up there. How's that? Hopefully everybody can see that there. We can see your question stuff coming in. Katrina says, shed. Bless your cotton socks, guys. This is what we like to do, is get over there and press the share button. For some reason, this whole system had to be rebooted and reset up again. Hence, it all looks a bit sort of like this. And why I was coming on the screen, bopping away. I think it's not supposed to be there, but that was unusual. That was good. That was good. And also, yes, there you go. One of those mornings. So how are you?
Good. I'm just worried. Can you see me okay? Because I can't see.
You're freezing a lot. Yes, unfortunately, you're freezing a lot. Yes, unfortunate about that. That's the only issue.
Okay, so I'm going to change the internet.
Okay, I'll take you off. I'll have a little chat with everybody, and then we'll get you back on in just a second. How's that?
Yeah. I'm changing the internet connection.
Okay. See you in a little while. See you in a little while, my dear. Okay, right. So this morning, what we're going to be talking about is, and this is one thing that Guiomar and I wanted to get into, was to really work with the depth of astrology and really looking deep into this. And how better to do that than to get up an astrology chart which relates to everything that's going on. It's fully interactive, this one, so it gives us a little bit more insight as to what's going on and how we can discuss and tell you, help inform you, guide you, and chat to you about how this is going to work. Also, guys, just to let you know, this Friday, I'm joined by the wonderful Helen Grady on the media. We look forward to that. And also, okay, I think we've got Guiomar back on the line. Okay, let's see how this goes. Okay, what's this? The magic of technology. 3, 2, 1. How's that? Can you
Hello.
hear me? You look better. You look so much better.
Me?
Yes. Earlier on, you're
Okay.
sort of going freezing, but you're not now. That's good. Okay, good. Okay, so how are you? Let's try again.
Good.
Yes.
I've been physically a little bit like that, but feeling good.
Okay.
Stuff moving around.
Okay. Yeah, stuff moving around, and I think as well. But this is quite a changing time now, isn't it? We're going through this enormous period of transition, and how we're going to see our lives moving on around us. I don't know why, but my script there, perhaps you can see it out there, guys. Yeah, it's all gone a bit dark in colour. I have to sort that out when we come off the show, but for some reason it's done that. But anyway, yes, I agree with you. The energy is moving around, and I think here this is a lot that I sense to do with the Uranus energy. It's this.
Yes.
And it's one thing I picked up here as well, and I was looking into some of the energies we've got going on now and how best to work with this. And one of the things which I discovered is, well, not discovered, I read into, I knew this, but I forgot all about it and really went into it, was the fact here that I could really now look into the charts and understand that the genius side of Uranus can bring out wonderment around us now if we look for it.
Yes.
And I really think here, so as much as everybody's saying here, oh God, we're going through this change, it's going to be upheaval, things never going to be the same again, how crazy our life is going to be. But the other side here, it could really bring out something incredible for ourselves. And this is this genius side here, where we've been used to the old. And I think here, one of the ways here it could actually work could be quite, in a sense, quite shocking.
Yes.
Shocking, but shocking in a good way.
Yes, but it's really, Uranus is shocking only when we resist change. And it's really a moment of, like, we've been for the past like 2 weeks or so, just shifting and bringing up old stuff, old patterns, even physically. In my case, like I had spots all over my arm. I had a tooth infection, and it kind of went haywire a little bit, that tooth infection. So it's part of the old stuff coming out, and it can come out in different ways. As I said, it can come out physically, it can come out in in dreams. It's coming up a lot in dreams lately.
Yeah.
Like finding yourself, I don't know, in even in situations that your ancestors must have lived. For example, especially if you have a lot of Scorpio in your chart. I have a friend who said that she had a dream where she was a very submissive wife, and just obeying her husband and everything, and building up anger, and getting to a point where she would, in her dream, she would get a knife and kill him. And she woke up and she was horrified, because she says, I'm not like that. But the point is that dream was a part of an old ancestral pattern. It's a pattern that's in there. It's in humanity, and we're shifting all those old patterns in which we disempowered ourselves. Whether it be as a victim or as a perpetrator, we are still disempowered. Okay, because the perpetrator is also being disempowering himself by projecting his emotionality onto the victim. So if I can't help myself because the victim is making me feel this, and it's the victim's fault that I have this impulse, this urge to do harm to the victim.
Yeah.
So in both cases, there's a disempowerment. And these are the type of issues that have been coming up for the past 2 weeks. So they can be cleared. So then that Uranus conjunct Sun, which right now they're 5 degrees away, the sun's already been on top of Uranus, but there's still that influence, and it's squaring Saturn in Aquarius. So in a way, it's like
Let's go and
that
have a look at,
seeding new
yes.
ways, new forms that
Let's
have
go
to
and,
break the old forms.
yes, yes, yes. Let's go and have a little old look at this. In fact, I'm looking about. Oh, hang on. There we go. Let's do this around the other way. Is it that way? Yes. There we go. There we go. The wonders of technology this morning. There we go. So let's go and have a look at little old Uranus, the charts here. Where they're going. Okay, right. So bring it up to there. I can see my screen. Great. Okay. Yes, because down here, there we are. Down there we are. Down Sun, which is 15 degrees of Taurus. We've still got that. This is interesting, isn't it? Because everything going through Taurus is like, it's almost in a sense come stationary. But then Uranus is saying you're not stationary for very long. You're going to start changing very, very soon. And
Exactly.
some of the ways here. Yes, some of the ways here we're actually seeing this. Sorry about my thingy this morning. It's very dark. I don't know why it's done that. I can't do anything about it whilst we're live, but never mind. Yes, and I think this is how. So we got this stuck energy. We got this resistance, and it's very slow. But it's like here. This is the Saturn square here as well. I think, as you're saying, is like the stones getting older and older and older, which is Saturn, until or something which is there, but it gets older and older until it dies. But then Uranus comes in and injects new energy. But the only thing is it injects it, it's going to be different. It's like the
Yes.
communist effect in some respects, isn't it?
Exactly. And when new energy comes in, when the light comes in, it's going to shift and move the old energy, which is denser, more stuck, more
Yes,
immobile, and it's
yes.
going to crack it. It's going to break it. So this happens at every level in life, and it's good that the old energy that's stifled gets moved, gets shifted. It'll come up. It'll stink. It'll smell. You might reject it. You shouldn't reject it. Just accept the fact, because Venetia says been going back to old matters,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm
and hate them.
back up.
So
Yes, just saw that. She'd been going back to
old
old
matters and
matters
hate
and
them.
hate them, dreaming more too. It's interesting. This we're going to have a chat
Then
about this morning.
exactly.
Dreams and this.
So yeah, so the important is not to hate those things that are coming up, because if we hate them, we reject them, and we stick them back down in there again, and it's like having a septic tank and saying, oh God, this smells, I'm going to step on it more. And it's like, no, clear it out. So allow it to express itself, allow it to come out, because it's just a clearing. We have to feel it for it to be cleared. If you don't feel it, you don't clear it.
I think as well with this is as well as much as we're clearing into the new, it's like everything becomes the new. It's like going back to the and remember it's historically the best way I sometimes think to look at this is the old days. The old days, everybody used to love big bands, and big bands. When I say it's you going back to sort of 40s or 50s, 1950s, and the bigger the band, the more impact it had for like the dance theatres and the places like that. And then that sort of got that dwindled away, and in came rock and roll, and everybody who was into the big bands was in absolute uproar at this devil's music, as they would have called it. But it's the injection of the
Yeah,
new.
with four guys.
We're four
With four
guys.
guys.
We're four guys, otherwise known as the Beatles. Yes.
No,
Well,
no, no. But rock and roll. I think the base of the rock and roll is either three or four guys. So it's a
yes.
guitar, a bass, a drummer, and a
And a lead
singer.
singer. And then all of a sudden that started to take over these big bands. And the big bands was like, well, they're all redundant now, those big theatres. Oh my goodness, the heartbreak. Those were the old days. Well, yes, they were the old days,
Exactly.
as we say.
So, and Phil, think about, what all these people that made horseshoes and shoed horses, what
Yes.
happened to them when automobiles came along. And it's like, oh no, and well, it happens.
Yeah, steam trains. We used to love steam trains. We had railways all over the place. And then some nutter invented a coach. So
Exactly.
we had on coaches, and the steam trains came to an end. The railways shut down. Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, no. So this is the changes we go through. Now, here's the interesting bit as well. What's the build up to? Is whatever is transiting coming into the new, we have gone through these changes and found them in some respects slightly, we can go, wow, this is fantastic, or it's shocking. Shocking. For instance, the band music, change it down to 4 guys rather than 30. We see the end of the steam trains. Oh, the end of an era. The end of an era. Those lovely steam trains. We've gone on to coaches and things like this. And then you've gone on to music's changed over the eras. You've brought in punk music. Mums and dads were going up the wall at their children, dyeing their hair orange and God knows what else. But for the people doing it, it was like, this is fantastic. So you've got a choice, really, haven't you? You can either sit back and go, this is terrible, the change we're coming into, or go into, this is the fantastic.
Exactly. And by the way, Venetia says, I have acknowledged them and realized that have moved forward and done some self-reflection, which I needed.
Yes.
Excellent, Venetia.
Yes.
And Katrina says, old hurts have come back. I'm beginning to wonder that perhaps I've not been listening properly. Actually, no, it's normal that old hurts come back. We have to shift it. We have to feel it because that's what's going to allow that the new comes in. And as I said at the beginning of the year, we are in a year where we're going to reinvent relationships. So we're going to invent the wheel as far as relationships goes. It's change the paradigm absolutely, because we've been relating to each other from a very mind-based paradigm. You should be doing what I think you should be doing, and I have to explain, and you have to tell me, and blah blah blah. And we have not been relating to each other truly, energetically, heart-based, but just mentally based relationships, which basically is not relating to anybody else, and means, and this is why we have felt alone in spite of being surrounded by people. So our loneliness comes from our relationships from mind to mind.
Yes, that's interesting you saying that, and I think that we're coming out of that mindset and going into something else. Whether we, in one sense here, I think we could be tuning more into the ether, which is all the elements, where we're coming out of logic, we're also going to emotion, we go into spiritual, we go into sense. And that's interesting when we say sense is, and I think being intrigued or curious, I think are great words to look at nowadays, to follow that, oh, this is interesting, and this brings on a sense of curiosity rather than trying to judge it mentally, rather than trying to and I think we're agreeing. This is great. What's going on? Hang on, we're agreeing. Why are we agreeing?
Something happened to me the other day. I was doing an online course, so I'm pretty used to the online world now. Like I do a lot of Zoom, this shows with you, a lot of Instagram lives. So I'm kind of used to the format, and I love it because for me it's very natural. And if you see my chart, you get it. So it's like, I got all these Aquarius energy. For me, it's natural just to connect to a camera and feel that I'm connected not only to you, Phil, but a whole bunch of other people whose face I've never seen before and never will see probably. So for me, that's natural now. And the way to relate like that is just coming from your heart and just expressing what you feel and understanding that each person is perfect as they are, and that there's a place for everybody in this world, and if you want to listen to me, fine. If you don't want to listen to me, fine. So there's not this prejudiced mindset that we used to have, oh, I'm scared what you're going to think, and what if I'm saying silly things or being ridiculous or my gestures or whatever. So this is gone, and now it's much more spontaneous. It's more like curiosity, as you were saying. It's like, hi, how are you? Let's see what happens. Let's figure out what's going to happen today. There's nothing pre-planned. It's just, let's go with the flow. Let's feel it. Let's connect. Let's see let's converse. So that's the way, like, we're moving into more and more each time. It's more this, I think Instagram is the perfect paradigm of how the future of connection and relating to works, because it's very open, very true, very honest, and with no pretenses and no expectations, right? But funny enough, and this is to give like the counterpoint, the other day I signed up to this trauma and spirituality 3-day conferences with Peter Levine, who's like the expert in the field of trauma, somatic experiencing the trauma.
Okay.
And so this is like top stuff, right? And really good people and so forth. And there's a point where the organizers create these breakup rooms in Zoom. So you find yourself suddenly out of the blue with a group of people, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people that you've never met before. And
Yep.
there's the cue is talk about trauma, and you have 20 minutes in all. And it's like, okay, let's go. No, so it's really interesting to talk about a deep subject like trauma. For me, it's more natural because this is what I do for a living, and I'm pretty straightforward and open and have no problem with it. And being a Spaniard, the Latin culture is very used to expressing and connecting, and that's it. But the people there, even though the origins were from everywhere, but they were basically American or Northern European, and they weren't as open. So the first time I tried, I took the lead of the group because nobody was taking the lead. So I took the lead along with another woman, and we coordinated, and it flowed pretty well, I think. And I sort of did my job of sustaining people and all that stuff, and it went okay, no. And then the second day the breakout happened. The first day I was able to connect, and I was able to open people up a little bit.
Yeah.
I felt okay, yeah, I'm comfortable. But the second day it was only another woman, and there were two other women, and one of them was one of the organizers, one of the people that worked with the organization. So she was an expert in trauma and dealing with trauma, right? But
Yeah.
she was like, wait, don't say anything. Just wait, get into your body, and breathe. And I'm like, I'm used to engaging socially, and I found myself fearing connection. What if I say what I shouldn't say? May I? Can I?
Yes.
Yes, no, not now. And it's like, you're traumatizing me. So this is just to give you a gist of how communication is changing so much, and how to really connect with others is just being like a child, being curious, being honest, like looking at the other person in the eyes. And it's not working from a set of preconceived rules. Okay, this is the script, this is the way we should relate, this is how things should go. It's like, no, it's like, hi, we've all seen children in a park start engaging with each other, right? So it's a bit like this, it's not being rigid. It's like, hi, what's your name? Do you want to play?
That's interesting you're saying that.
And
The
then,
amount of people who are doing that now. I actually say here, like for instance, they've moved out to Spain or they moved out to a different country, and they've actually said to me, I was even talking to a lady yesterday, she said she never normally does this, but she just went up to people at a school playground and said, hi, my name's la di da di da, and yeah, how's your children? Do you fancy meeting up for a coffee? It's just like, yes, okay, let's do that. And then she started to get into friendships. And I thought, amazing. And this is what we're starting to do. Before we're like, oh no, we take a long time to do this. We sort of just wave hands every now and then. All right, hi, how you doing? But no, instant. And this is that change of energy. People are, yes,
exactly.
just go with it. Take
And
away judgment.
but
Take away
yeah,
that sense here that we've got to look formal. We've got to. How do I look? Well, is my tie done up
yes,
straight? This is amazing, isn't it? It's just changing. Is it just moving on from those old times and how we can see our lives changing and moving into a different an environment altogether?
but
Very interesting time.
at the same time, Taurus is saying the way you establish relationships has to be from your own personal security, and your own personal security has to do with respecting what you feel, respecting your rhythms, respecting your pace, and of course, the same with other people, respecting other people. So, in spite that, day-to-day relationships are faster, more spontaneous, more childlike, more simple. The more intimate relationships are slower, and this is also a good thing, because before we did it the other way around. It was like we put a lot of distance, there's a lot of social distancing. Even though we think we're social distancing now, we were socially distancing before because we were not
Yes.
relating to other people
Yes, we
except from
weren't.
mind to mind.
Yes.
Okay. So before, what we would do, since we were alone and we were distanced socially by our minds, then when we connected to, so we always put a distance. It's like, oh, you don't look at people on the streets when you're in a city, you know, that
No,
is
no,
not the
it's
thing you
it's
should do.
rude. It's rude.
Exactly. You don't engage. Actually, guess what? Engaging socially, the key to engage socially is to look at people in the eyes, because this is what's going to appease the nervous systems. This is what's
Yes,
going to calm you down. This is
yes.
what's going to facilitate the energy flowing through you, the connection, and the liberation of any possible traumatic register in your body. So the healthiest thing you can do is actually engage with people with eye contact, right? So we
And
didn't do that
yes,
before, which means that when we get into intimate relationships, we were starved for safe connection. And that's why we just went like straight into intimate relationships. So we were reserved, no connection, no social connection. You open it with one person and blah, and you totally merge with that person. Of course, you merge from a space of neediness, of loneliness, of not knowing how to relate. So that's how relationship would end up, right?
right.
We did it the other way around.
I think as well that uh, now what we're seeing here is, and I agree with you about that social distancing we used to have with relationships, and everybody used to say you've got to take it very slowly, and it's like, oh, it's always getting a bit boring in some sense. But now we're starting to relate and engage in relationships in a different way. But this again is that Taurus effect here: awareness of ourselves, how we look, how we feel, and how we're getting rid of those iron shells or that armor, that steel armor from ourselves. So we're too aware of ourselves and just going with, this is just nice. This is just nice to get on
Exactly.
with. This is just a nice energy just to grow with, and it just feels better. Now, just coming into the
Exactly.
charts, here's the charts here. I'm going to move the chart around shortly, just so we can see what's going on and understand why we're going through this change. So here we have, sorry, let's put that on there. Here we have the Uranus at 10 degrees of Taurus. It's making a square over to Saturn. Saturn is, at the moment, it's stationary, or the apparent look of it looks stationary, and it's about to go backwards. As it about to go backwards, if I was to put this on by, let's go forward by 1 month. 1 month. There we go. Saturn is just lost. Where's it gone now? We're over there. There it is. Saturn is still 13 degrees 24 minutes, even at 1 month. It's just so slow moving. But what it's going to do, you're going to see Uranus here is slowly catching up. It was at 10 degrees earlier on. Now, a month ahead, it's 12 degrees. It's coming into the orbit of this square, that red line there meaning a square, 90 degrees. And this is a transitional change that we're all going through from the old status quo. Saturn was in Capricorn over here, which is making us feel quite formal, rigid, and everything was looking very corporate, and governments were up to all sorts. But now, Saturn in Aquarius, an air sign, ruled by Uranus, we are now going through this upheaval of change. So watch with excitement and openness of the new eras coming in. And in some respects here, yes, Saturn is the formal, Uranus is the new, the injection of new energy into the old. We'll see that the old big bands changing into the new rock and roll. So watch what comes up. It's going to be very different again. Relationships will change. We've got Taurus. Taurus is very sensual, very sensual. People talking more about sensuality. People are talking more open about their lives. And it's interesting, some of you guys, they were talking about your dreams. People are now more open about their dreams, but more open about their own sensuality than what they've ever been. Normally, 5 years ago, you go, you don't talk about that so openly with people, surely. Nowadays, but it's all, that's what we need to talk about. We need to talk about how we feel, what we're experiencing, and how this is moving us into a completely new paradigm in energy. And also, what else is to come? What else is to come is going to be amazing. Now, to harp on with this here, let's just go back 1 month. Go back 1 month, come back to where we were, and let's go and have a look at this little one here, which is Jupiter. It's at 28 degrees 57 minutes of Aquarius, and over in this month is going to step into the sign of Pisces. Now this is, for some people, going to go, yes, dreams come true. Dreams come true. Yeah, they probably will do, some of them. I think they will do. There's a lot of positive about this. I think people into spirituality, astrology, anything which is about caring for people, the dreams, creating dreams. Oh, I can't believe this has come true. This is something I worked upon. Suddenly it's come to light. Yes, great. But we'll also become very sensitive. And the reason being is because we've got Jupiter over here, which is quite happy in Pisces. Is actually quite happy there. It becomes very. It likes to work with understanding a therapeutic side. It's got a where it's also the ruler of Sagittarius over here, which is more about the jubilant. Hey, let's go into the future. But this here wants to talk about the therapy. This one here wants to talk about understanding ourselves, understanding culture and things like this. But also here, the ruler of Pisces is also Neptune. So we've got two planets in the home sign of Pisces. We can have, unless we're aware of this, an overload of sensitivity, an overload. And we just got to be a little bit careful, because sometimes here what we're going to get is with this Uranus energy down in Taurus, this Pisces energy over here, we'll start to get this strong belief system. And so what you believe in is fine. That's what you believe in. But don't believe that because you believe it, it's true for everything. It's not. It's not. It's your belief. But the only thing is just be careful what you're putting on other people.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's North Node,
Yeah.
and Gemini is reminding us that we all have different truths
Yes.
based on our different
That's a great way
experiences.
of putting it.
And
Different truths. I think that's an awesome way of putting it. Is to have different, yes, different truths, and the way we experience our lives is very different. But this is going to come home a lot stronger. This is going to make us feel this sense within us, our psychic being. Everything we think that we're feeling is true. Well, it's true to you, but it doesn't mean it's true to everybody else or the world around us. So just be careful what we're pushing on the values of other people.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I like, there's a very nice thing about Jupiter in Pisces. It's a bit like having the angels speak to you or protect you or something like
Oh
that. You know,
yes,
it's like
yes.
there's a,
Oh,
and like an angelical protection or an energetic protection that comes from above. No, it's a very beautiful aspect.
and I think a lot of people are going to say here that they feel guided. They feel very guided by something. Just a second, as soon as I remember it. But it's also here. What's going to be interesting is Jupiter goes in, stays there for a little while, then turns retrograde, comes back into Aquarius, stays there until about December, and then comes back into Pisces again. Then it stays in Pisces for quite some time. But what's interesting though, Jupiter went into Aquarius in December, I think, wasn't it? The end of December this last year. So it's only been in Aquarius for a short time. It's rocketed through, bringing out this new energy, bringing out expansion and new ways of thinking, technology, because it's Aquarius and Uranus. Then it goes into Pisces, then it slows down, comes back, stays in Aquarius for quite some time before it goes back forwards again. So we've got all this energy.
Yes.
But just watch that spiritual stuff there. You're suddenly going to feel like, wow, it's time for me to start connecting, working spiritually. Yes. And I think we'll all.
And another thing, exactly. But another thing that Jupiter does as well, Sagittarius, is Sagittarius comes after Scorpio. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. What they do is that they make very, very evident the polarities that are developed in Scorpio. So in Scorpio, we go good, bad, and we want to control that the bad doesn't hurt me.
Yeah.
But we're actually projecting our shadow. So when Jupiter comes along, it puts like a magnifying glass to that, and it makes it bigger. So you realize that it's you who's projecting the good and the bad, or that it's obvious that there's a good and the bad. No, it's like being imagine an abusive relationship. At the beginning, you're not aware that you have an abusive relationship, and then suddenly this Jupiter comes along and puts the magnifying glass there, and you go, oh my God, look what's happening. I'm in an abusive relationship. And the abusive relationship is you projecting your power outside, right? Yeah. So the subject of Jupiter in Aquarius is supposed to be the sign of freedom once you gain it, because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, but also by Saturn. So there's a lot of slavery in Aquarius. So Jupiter going like that, whooshing along and going into Pisces is saying, hey guys, look how you've been feeling like a slave. And then you have this Mars that's just been into Cancer, the Pluto at the end of Capricorn, without any aspects, or aspecting Venus and Lilith like it is right now. And all these things that are just like really bringing up, where have we been slaves? How have we been enslaving ourselves? From what mindset been falling into into submissive narratives or power struggles in which you're not really owning your own power, no?
I think that's a big thing as well. And also Jupiter going through Aquarius was very much a time of looking at child trafficking, sex trafficking. And it's in Jupiter really magnifies things. It really is about the justice of stuff here. And Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, being in Capricorn, Pluto very much working on this particular side of life. We've got to transform the way we are manipulating, controlling people in horrible ways. And it's gone on throughout their life since life has begun, but we're highlighting it more and more now as humans we are evolving, and as astrologically we are evolving and seeing the polarities and changes around us. Now, interesting here, do you all like healing? Do you all like a bit of healing? Would you all like to experience a little bit of healing in one way or form? I bet we would. I bet we would. Let's just move on a couple of days here. Let's just go one day at a time, and I'd like you to just be observant of this little Mars down here. It's in Cancer, a very caring sign. Mars in Cancer is interesting here. A lot of people have Mars in Cancer and normally very good historians. That's one of their signs here, but it's also a sign here. Mars doesn't really get angry. It can't really get angry. It's like blowing bubbles through water. To really try to get angry, but it's more passive aggressive. It's more like, I'll see you're late again. Is that again that lets you know that it's a bit of passive aggressive there? But no, on this case though, let's look at this, because down here, there we got Mars. It's at 7 degrees of Cancer, and right over here we got Chiron, 10 degrees of Aries. Aries being the ruler, of Mars. So Mars here lining up with Chiron, the planet of healing, or planet of wounds. Planet of wounds, the wounded healer. Now, if we just keep moving on a little bit, you'll see that Mars, let's just keep an eye on Mars, come to 8 degrees. Chiron, very, very, very slow moving. And lo and behold, we start to get, there we go, 11 degrees. Well down. 12th of May. 12th of May. 12th of May is a day to go look forward to, because here's a day at a time. It's actually building up to this. A time of where we can start healing ourselves, start looking at ourselves, thinking maybe a bit of forgiveness coming on here, maybe a bit of compassion, maybe a bit of humility, gratitude, feeling here, maybe do some things to help ourselves. As we're also trundling around with this, where we've gone here. Yes, there it is. I'll just come back a few days. Let's come back to about the 11th of May here, and we've got quite a powerful moon coming up, haven't we?
11th of May is a moon in Taurus, new moon in Taurus.
Yes, but we're also lining up now. We're coming up to the season of the eclipses.
Yes.
The eclipses are coming up. So this is a powerful moon, and although it's going to line about 20 degrees, it's going to be the following day, the 12th of May. There we go. It's just gone past it. It's actually shot past it. So it's in between 11th and 12th. It's around about midnight, I should think. Anyway, so this is Central Eastern time. This is American time here, but well, that's over here. But just look around that time there, we're finally coming into this sign of Taurus. We've got this moon lining up with the sun. The sun's making, it's pulling in Pluto over here. It's also going to pull in Saturn. And we are looking very, very much at moving on from where we were. If we're prepared to take stock of ourselves and inject something new into our lives, and eclipses will do. Pretty powerful ones.
Yes, and Lilith is in the combination. And Lilith in Taurus is all about bringing in new values
Yep.
And with the sun, it's all about together with that. So with Mars, Mars in Cancer and Lilith with the sun in Taurus,
Yep.
there can be a lot of like anger.
Yes.
Like I want to express something, I want to do it differently, and it frustrates me. And it's with Pluto, it's going to bring up a lot of cellular memories, even of wars,
Yes.
of consequences of wars in the past. Maybe people will be remembering different wars and their effects. It's an energy of like building energy inside that is not able to be expressed freely and heartfully, and how that in the past has created havoc and wars and so forth, and how important it is to be so true to yourself that you allow yourself to express what you have inside, no? And if you're the people that surround you, you can't express yourselves there, then look for other people or other avenues in which you can truly express yourself.
I think very true. I think if we expression is the key, isn't it? Because I think it's this element of expression, and also here we got Venus. Then Venus, we just come back a few days. Where are we now? Venus, there is 29 degrees of Taurus, and that's on the 8th of May. I like this, the 8th of May. It just suddenly tweaked. Do you remember that song called by Motorhead? Motorhead was their rock band, and they sang the Ace of Spades. You remember that song? It's like the 8th of May, the 8th of May, the 8th of May. Sorry. Anyway, so great things are happening on the 8th of May. Venus is coming to the end of its journey in Taurus, and is about to pop into Gemini. And there it's going to want to express itself. At the same point it's doing this, we've got Jupiter there, just at the same point, about to pop into Pisces. So the energy is really going to shift forwards. And although it's a square energy, sometimes when we have a square energy, a square energy, it's not necessarily, although sometimes think, oh, it's frustrating. No, it's just telling us to think differently, to express ourselves differently. We're coming through an evolution of change.
Yeah, totally. And that Jupiter, Pisces, Venus, Gemini, no, it's express your higher truth.
Yes.
So even though there's buildup of like a war type, cellular memory, remember before how when the energy built up, like in Victorian times, they were very rigid. During the end of the 19th century, people's energy built up a lot, and that exploded into the First and Second World War, right? But
Yes.
now we don't do wars anymore because we have many, many avenues of expression, especially
Yes.
thanks to internet.
Yes.
So the energy doesn't build up as much. And the combination with all that's going on in Pisces during, that's this long transit of Neptune going through Pisces, and the long, even longer 100-year cycle of Neptune and Pluto speaking to each other, it just doesn't happen as a war anymore. It's more like the energy builds up, the energy builds up, the energy builds up, but then Jupiter, Venus says, yeah, but this is what's true to me. And North Node in Gemini says, okay, this is my truth. What is your truth? Let's see if we can create something together or not. It's fine if it's not. We can do something different. It's that kind of energy.
I think there's a heck of a lot of wisdom here to come out of this particular time we're coming through. A whole lot of wisdom will just suddenly tap in now. It's interesting what you're saying about wars there. And I think that's a fascinating thing to bring up, that we can't go into wars as much as we used to because of the internet, because we will express ourselves. And it took that technology to go and do it. So the more we express ourselves and talk and talk and talk, the more we're going to find here peace somewhere. And I remember, oh dear, I remember, and I must admit, some of you probably agree with me as well, that when Facebook and the internet first came out, started talking to each other, the amount of people got into arguments because they really just lost the plot, because they didn't know how to express themselves. And when you see someone's expression in words in text, it means sometimes completely different what we're expressing through normally. How are you today? I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. But you write down I'm fine. Well, that's a bit short. What do you mean by that?
So then the emojis came along.
Yes. So then we had to find something else to go and bring in a bit of entertainment.
Yeah, but the thing is, I find, I don't know if it's because I'm Spanish or what, but the emojis like very limited as far as emotional expression goes. I really would love like a lot more of emojis to convey what I want to convey in each moment. You know, there's
I love those ones, and I think it's on Messenger where you got the black and white silhouette, and you got the young boy and the young girl, and they're dancing, and you got that one that's dancing like that. Uh, that's a fantastic. How are you today? When you put that up there, people laugh because you're fine, you're cool. You don't even have to say a word. You're just like dancing, you're head banging. It's brilliant fun. Anyway, sorry, back to astrology. So, yes, but it is all about, I agree with you, it's all about how we express ourselves and moving into that new era of expression. And
yeah.
yeah, very, very interesting. Right. Okay. Anything else we need to look at here? Obviously, next
It's
week.
like Phil, can we use the example of like, well, now that I'm asking you, we're gonna have to. For example, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we sort of shifted the format of the show a little bit.
Just
So
a
now
little
we're doing
bit.
like 45 minutes of just a little bit, 45 minutes of a lot of an in-depth talk about
Yes.
astrology of the moment, the energy and all that stuff. And we really shortened the predictive part, the part where we talk about people's charts or whatever, and we turn that into charts. It's not
Yes.
actually doing just say so basically this is because, of course, things, we get the way people interact, we see the shift, we feel it in ourselves. I say, hey, Phil, I feel this. And Phil goes, well, I feel that. And, okay, what do we do? Let's feel to see how things go. And said, how about this? Oh, this feels better.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try this out. So we're continuously just, it's always in movement. There's no contract or anything. We're just flowing with what's going on, with the moment, with the times, with the feedback from the people, with everything. And so, the energy is getting stuck a little bit here because I'm getting tired. We got to introduce a change. What do we do? No, it's that kind of that, and always in continuous dialogue. So I think this is a good example of how different the relationships are now. No?
I think it is, and in fact, sometimes here, rather than going to, and I think you, guys, you'll probably understand here. Yes, it's great to get your little readings here, but they're very showy, very showy. This is more specific to the point and how it's going to affect us all, how we're all going to bring out here. And what we'd love you to do is to comment on things there, like you're going through. Like some of you said here, you're dreaming more, or you felt
Yes,
that you're letting go of something here. Um,
yes.
Deb's
But
Harry.
look,
She looked at the.
Katrina says, loving the information side.
Yes, yes, loving
Thanks,
information.
Katrina.
Yes, yes. And I think we all, even you guys, when you're coming in and talking about things, I think it's interesting how you're putting points across. More changes coming, says producer. Watch this space. Hang on for that. Hang on, we need a drum roll here. Well, where's my? Oh yeah, here we go. Drum roll. More changes coming. How's that? Good. All right. How exciting. Jolly good. Anyway, yes, Deb Harris says, I think this is what she means. She says, hi, love my soap. So I think she thinks this is brilliant. So it's better than watching Coronation Street when you can watch this. This is like a soap. The soap of astrology, the soap of life. Brilliant. I
Yeah,
think.
but that comment was at the beginning of the show. That was 40 minutes ago.
Oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry, I just saw it. I thought, hey, this is great. Katrina says, wait, hey, Ellie says, "Yeah, bring it on." Good. Okay. Um, yes. So, what, guys? I think what we're all going to start experiencing this shift is a shift, and how we're talking more about the shift, and how we're experiencing this shift, and how we're letting go of things, and even discussing old topics. And don't be afraid that life is changing, because this is the way the designer is going, where we're going, how we're going, and sometimes just let it happen. And one of the things about Jupiter going into Pisces, I think, is one of the biggest things over here. There it is over here. Jupiter going into Pisces, is that we'll start becoming aware. Jupiter's the grand, understands, it's the ruler of Sagittarius in that sense. It's the philosophical side of life. But it's very philosophical, very people who are great psychologists and therapists often have a very strong Pisces somewhere to be able to understand people. If Jupiter's in there as well, or it's doing something there, then great, great. And also
Yes.
here, what's also important about it here is that when we go into this new philosophy, it's in a water sign. And what restricts water? Well, not much. Only if you put a wall up, but that's Saturn. But Saturn's going to be looking at this and going, do you know what? We just got to change. Uranus is saying here, Uranus can't, Uranus, Saturn, and Jupiter can't operate without each other. They all need each other.
Sorry?
They said Uranus, Saturn, and Jupiter can't operate without each other. Because Saturn has to limit something, Jupiter has to philosophize, maybe expand something, and Uranus has to change something. So we have to change the old. It's like when you've got a house. A house is your structure, but you come in and you give it a new lick of paint, a new lease of life. Uranus. Yes, they all need each other. So sometimes you think, oh, Saturn, I hate Saturn. No, you need Saturn. Saturn actually helps to contain you or control you. We say control, don't want to mean it in a negative way, but it's there to give you, you know where your boundaries are, where you feel comfortable. But you could still stretch those, because Jupiter come on and say, come on, let's blow a balloon. See how far we can get it. And then Uranus comes in and says, if you go much further, it's going to go bang.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yes. So
okay,
we've got
good.
8 minutes left.
Okay, right. Okay, let's have a little look here. Let's go on to. Oh dear. Right. Okay. All right. I've just seen something here that comes up. If anybody's sent a friend request to Deborah, just ignore it. There's something that's gone on here. We'll sort that out today. It's one of those. Everybody's having a particular difficult time. Like some people know have had a few issues, and there seems to be a hack that's gone on somewhere. So we'll sort that out. But yeah.
Yes, but that's also part of this old energy that is coming up, that gives us a feeling that we're not in control of our relationships. So the way I see things is that the important thing here is, yes, obviously you take the measures that you have to take and you act as swiftly as possible, but to really connect with, I'm being hacked, and this is going to create confusion in my communication with other people, for example. How does that make me feel? Because that's part of an old pattern that's coming up thanks to the fact of being hacked. But that's making you feel something, and that which you're feeling is old. And that is what has to come up and be cleared and go out. So you can create connections with people that are more truth-based, more heartfelt.
And it's
just the old coming up.
But what's great about this as well is if you've got the modern, you know how to correct that, in which case that old is then left behind. Yes, so that's what happened in an hour or so, I think. Yes, within 10 minutes, I should think. Happened within 10 minutes. Yeah. Good. Okay, let's go and have a look at, Susanna wrote in. I know we're coming down to the last 5 minutes, but this was so pretty intense to go look at. But we'll be looking more at the charts as we come out next few weeks, especially with these eclipse season we're coming into, what it's going to mean for us and how we're going there. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Katrina says here, Debs, ignore if you got a friend request from me, then yeah, but she's just saying here that's okay. All right. Alert, just heard from Mila that many of us have been hacked. There's a lot of hacks going on out there. So we'll sort that. It's just a matter of changing passwords.
The way to prevent that is to double proof the sign in. So whenever you sign in, you get a message to your phone.
Yeah.
So you do that in settings, and that's the way you can prevent the hacking.
There you go.
And then open up freely. Then you can open up freely without needing to limit or set limits or protect yourself when you found yourself in the middle of a hacking or an invasion. No. So can you see how the pattern underlies the fact?
Yes, it does, and it's how it does that, and how that's the Pluto bit that's going to come in and sabotage something. It's going to take something away, and it's going to change it. But then you just create new through Uranus and use a bit of Mercury, and off you go. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Okay. Let's go and have a look at. Let's go and have a look at, because Susanna wrote in. And here's a
Yes.
chart. And she wrote in. She wants to know about her butterfly center, and if it's actually going to work this year. What's going to happen now? I know that Guiomar and I work both very much in different ways. But one thing I like is transits. Transits and how the chart functions by planets coming over the top of the planets we're born with. So as much as, let's go and have a look at Cancer. There we go. We've got Cancer over here. We've got Mars in Cancer. Well, transiting Mars at the moment is about here. It's about here. And but soon it'll come up to your Mars. It'll make this opposition over to Venus. Bears here, and it's going to start looking at you about making some changes within yourself, how you feel about yourself, the relationships you have with other people, the dynamics here. And also, one of the things I noticed about this chart is we've got a lot of there's a lot of strong energy in Capricorn, quite a lot of strong energy going on in Scorpio, and yes, we've got little bits going on. We've got the moon in Aries squaring, making some challenging angles. But the same point here, we've got quite a fixed chart, or someone who's got quite fixed opinions or beliefs, and trying to sway that would be very difficult. So if you're
Yes.
to start, yeah.
The underlying theme of the chart is, it's funny that you say butterfly center, because being so fixed, butterflies symbolize the total opposite, which is more akin to your sun in Sagittarius, no?
Yes.
In the 11th house, the 11th, 12th, it's more about being free, being fluttery, being light, and transform. So deep inside, even though the outside is saying, I want to create this butterfly center, what's happening is I want to transform myself from this rigid fixity to the lightness I feel I'm going towards.
And there we have to look at fear. Look
Exactly.
at fear, what's restricting
which is what's going to happen when Mars conjuncts your natal Mars.
Yes, that's right. It will bring up the fear, but the fear can bring change.
Exactly.
And
so understand that you're going to feel the fear. It's going to come up, but it's those old fears that actually are preventing you from being the butterfly, and hence creating the butterfly center.
Yes, yes, yes.
And they have to come up, and you have to feel them, and you have to say, bye-bye fears. I want to be a butterfly.
Welcome in opportunity. And also yes. Here I'd say that you've got a moon down there in Aries, which again is a cardinal moon, but it gets very opinionated because it's an Aries. It's an Aries moon. I feel this and I feel that and I think this and I think that. Yes, we'll do. But in it, just going past this, we're now just coming through this particular area here, going through a second house. Second house, we've got this Jupiter, which is about to move sign into Pisces, which is area down here. And what is also going to indicate, it's your values, your beliefs. Your values, your beliefs. It's coming away from Aquarius. It's been touching up to your Chiron. It's looking at the way you've been feeling about health or wounds, healing yourself, and moving on into Pisces over here in the second house. And as it does so, it's going to make a journey over to your nodes, your moon's nodes here. This is going to be an interesting time. Your values, your beliefs. Jupiter's going to come in and say, how do you want life to be? And if it's in a water sign as well, why are you limiting this? Why don't you just be, and that great word I think we talked about before earlier on, curious. Go with, see what happens. If you come away from you consider your safety net, you say, look, I'm just going to give things a go, see how I get on. If you need to come back to your safety net because you feel that's what you want, you can do. There again, you may take that safety net away, go into your dream, and if you become successful, you'll look back and say, why did I always rely on a safety net?
Exactly. So it's resonating with the butterfly. It's becoming the butterfly. It's turning the impulse to react of that moon in Aries and to please everybody and do things the right way with that excessive Capricorn energy.
Yes.
and turn that into consciousness and awareness and transformation
Oh, I
and
love
being more
it.
true to
Love
yourself.
it. It feels, as
Yes.
you're saying that, that feels really exciting. It feels really exciting to turn that into
Mm.
something rather that's in here into something out there and go, wow, incredible, incredible.
Yeah.
Suzanne, I hope that's helped you. So your Jupiter's going to help you a little bit here, looking at ideals, looking at beliefs, and looking at how you value what it is you want, what your dreams are. Your dreams are Jupiter, Pisces. Oh, the dreams are going to come to light. The spiritual come to light. And if you get people, a queue of people knocking on the door saying, "Hey, I like what you do," are you going to hang on to this safety
And
net, or are you going to let it go?
yeah, resonate with the butterfly energy, like
Yeah,
do things that are butterfly-y in your life, so that way you can attract that into your life.
I think that's lovely. I think that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I think what a lovely way to end a chart, end a session like this, and just say to have a Susanna's chart up and just put this into this context and just say, look, you've got some nice changes coming up. Just go with the changes and you just sit, feel the energies, feel them. We don't need to panic. Okay, great. Let's let's come back to this. Good, good. Well, okay, guys, what a lovely, very special morning, unusual morning. Technology's gone all over the place. People are getting hacked here, there, and everywhere on Facebook at the moment. But as I say,
Yeah.
these are change things there. Susanna says, thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure. So, guys, as the producer puts up here, she says, if you, where is it again? Just find it again. There it is. If you're going to read that, I'll put that just there. If you would like a more in-depth reading on a Wednesday morning, please contact Deborah. By this, we need more details from you to ask a specific question. We will do them. I know we talk a lot about the astrology, but we need something from you, and also we need a specific question. We don't want general readings. Generals doesn't do. General is just anything. But if you've got a specific question, like for example here, Susanna was asking about her butterfly center. That's something which is tangible. It's really real. If you've got a question about a partnership, relationship, great. It's real. General is just, okay, what do you want us to work on? We're just guessing. So please, guys, if you want something there. So what we need is your date, your time, and your town of birth with a specific question. Those are the rules. But we don't do rules. Those are requests. Then we can curiously look into your charts and just help answer your question for you. So hopefully that's helped you guys. But yes. Okay. Enjoy your chaotic day out there, guys. It seems to be one of those. But lovely chatting with you all. And I wish you all the very, very best. Have a lovely day. See you very soon. A big heart from us. And a vegan burger.
Big heart. Bye.
Big heart and vegan bag. Take care, guys. Take care, Guiomar. See you very soon. Those big hugs, big warm wishes. Okay, there we go. Bye-bye.
Bye.